Have you ever taken a moment to really look at your cat's nose? It might seem like just a small detail, but believe it or not, that tiny spot on your cat's face can reveal a lot about their health. Cats are naturally discreet animals and often hide signs of pain or discomfort. That's why it's so important to pay attention to the little things. And the nose can be one of your best allies when it comes to spotting if something's not quite right. In some cases, it can even point to illnesses that need immediate attention. In today's video, we're going to show you everything you need to know about your cat's nose, what's considered healthy, what changes you should be concerned about, and when it's time to call the vet. If you're a cat parent and want to make sure your furry friend stays healthy and happy, stick with us until the end. This information could make all the difference. What should a healthy cat's nose look like? Generally speaking, a healthy cat's nose tends to be smooth in texture, moist, and slightly cool to the touch. That moisture is naturally produced by nasal gland secretions and tears that drain from the eyes into the nose, helping to keep the nasal cavity hydrated. This natural moisture helps with scent detection and is also a sign that your cat is well hydrated and their body is functioning normally. But it's important to understand that your cat's nose can change throughout the day. For example, if they've just woken up from a nap or have been lying in the sun, it's totally normal for their nose to feel drier or even a bit warm. That alone isn't a cause for concern. What really matters is knowing what's normal for your individual cat. Every animal is different, and what's normal for one might not be for another. Besides texture and moisture, the color of your cat's nose can also tell you a lot about their health. And here's the interesting part. There's no single normal color. Cats can have pink, brown, black, gray, or even yellowish noses. It all depends on their genetics and coat color. For example, light-colored cats often have pink noses, while black or tabby cats may have darker or even speckled noses. That's perfectly normal. So, keep an eye on your cat's usual behavior. If their nose is typically moist and suddenly stays dry for long periods, or if you notice cracks, crusts, or color changes, that could be a sign that something's off. But don't worry, we're going to explain everything you need to know. Nose color. As we mentioned, there's no one-size-fits-all normal color. What you really need to watch for are sudden or gradual changes in color. If your cat's nose has always been pink and suddenly starts looking pale, bluish, or very dark, that could be a warning sign. A pale or whitish nose might indicate anemia or poor blood circulation, especially if it's accompanied by pale gums and weakness. A bluish or purplish nose is a sign of low oxygen levels in the blood, which could be linked to serious respiratory or heart issues. That's a veterinary emergency and needs immediate attention. On the other hand, if your cat's nose looks redder or darker than usual, it could be due to stress, physical exertion, or heat, all of which cause blood vessels to dilate. In those cases, the color usually returns to normal fairly quickly. But if the darker color sticks around, it could be a sign of inflammation, infection, or even autoimmune diseases like feline lupus. There are also conditions like vitiligo, which causes progressive loss of pigment in the nose and skin, and lentigo, which creates small dark spots, especially in orange cats. These changes are usually harmless, but it's still a good idea to have a vet check them out to rule out anything more serious. Respiratory signs that appear along with changes in the nose. If your cat's nose looks different, dry, with discharge, or even crusty, it's important to check whether they're also showing respiratory symptoms. One of the most common signs is nasal discharge. It can be clear, yellowish, or even greenish, and may come from one or both nostrils. When this discharge is persistent, especially if it's accompanied by frequent sneezing, it's a strong indication that your cat may have some kind of respiratory infection. Other signs like constant sneezing, coughing, noisy or wheezy breathing, and even difficulty breathing should never be ignored. In more serious cases, your cat might start breathing through their mouth, develop a fever, become lethargic, stop eating, or show bluish coloring in the mouth and nose, which signals a lack of oxygen. Some of the most common illnesses that cause these symptoms include feline viral rhinotracheitis and feline calicivirus. In addition to respiratory issues, calicivirus can cause mouth ulcers and excessive drooling. Both are highly contagious among cats and require veterinary care. Another possible issue is feline bronchitis, which can lead to dry coughing and episodes of shortness of breath, especially in cats with a history of allergies. It's also worth remembering that environmental allergies, like dust, mold, perfumes, or cleaning products, can trigger similar respiratory symptoms. In these cases, the nose may become irritated with clear discharge, and the cat may sneeze frequently, but without fever or signs of infection. If you notice any of these symptoms along with changes in your cat's nose, don't wait. Contact a vet. Other conditions where a dry or cracked nose is a sign of illness. One common cause of a dry nose is dehydration. Dehydrated cats often show other symptoms besides a dry nose, such as lethargy, loss of appetite, darker urine, and even fever. This can happen for various reasons, from a very hot day to more serious conditions like kidney problems or episodes of vomiting and diarrhea. Another frequent cause of a cracked or crusty nose is skin disease. Dermatitis, for example, can affect the nose and other parts of the body, leaving the skin irritated, dry, and even wounded. This condition can be triggered by food allergies, contact with irritating substances, parasites, or infections caused by bacteria or fungi. And there's more. Sunburn is also a possibility, especially in light-colored cats who love sunbathing. Prolonged exposure to sunlight can dry out and damage the skin on the nose, leading to cracks and even sores. So if your cat enjoys stretching out by the window during the day, it's worth checking whether their nose is becoming more sensitive or looking different. The most important thing here is to look at the full picture. A dry nose for a few hours can be perfectly normal. But if it's cracked, crusty, injured, or if your cat seems uncomfortable, it's essential to seek veterinary care. So, when should you take your cat to the vet? The answer is simple: whenever there are persistent changes or accompanying symptoms. If your cat's nose stays dry for more than 24 hours, and that comes along with other signs like lethargy, loss of appetite, nasal discharge, sneezing, or fever, it's time to seek professional help. The same goes for cases where the nose has cracks, crusts, wounds, or bleeding. These signs could point to anything from infections to more serious conditions that require proper diagnosis and treatment. Another important thing is to watch your cat's behavior. If they're scratching a lot, rubbing their face on furniture, breathing heavily, or showing any kind of discomfort, don't wait for things to get worse. And remember, even in cases that seem minor, like a small dark spot or a bit of flaking, it's always better to be cautious. A clinical exam can rule out more serious issues and help ensure your cat stays healthy and happy. In short, if you notice any change in your cat's nose that's out of the ordinary for them, especially if it comes with other symptoms, reach out to a trusted vet. Prevention and early diagnosis make all the difference when it comes to the health of our four-legged companions. As we've seen, your cat's nose can be a real indicator of their overall health. While some day-to-day variations are totally normal, others can be important signs that something's not right. The most important thing is to know your cat. Being familiar with what their nose looks and feels like when they're healthy will help you quickly spot when something's off. And remember, when in doubt, always check with a vet. The sooner a problem is identified, the better the chances of fast and effective treatment. If this video helped you, share it with other cat parents. It might be exactly what they need to catch a health issue in time. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip about your pet's well-being. Tell us in the comments. Have you ever noticed a change in your cat's nose? What was the experience like? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.